Hi everyone and welcome to my video. Today I really want to draw Holly Hobbie and her best friends. I've been noticing an increase in Holly Hobbie content, and by increase I mean it went from like nothing to something. But as a Holly Hobbie fan, I'm actually really excited every time I see it. So I really want to join in on the fun. I've spent a lot of time debating between whether I want to draw something based around the original art from the greeting cards, or if I want to draw something based on the more modern cartoon. More modern in this case meaning it's from the 2000s. So it's also been quite a while. And in the end, I just kind of decided to draw Holly, Amy, and Carrie, just kind of looking cute on the same page. I'm also not going to attempt any sort of like redesign like I did with my Wings Club videos, because I actually really quite like the designs as is. And the only changes that I would make are very minor. Mainly the reason why I decided not to go with the 70s. Oh, let me just double check if it actually is 70s. It is 70s. So mostly the reason why I decided to not go with the original 1970s kind of designs and artwork is because it's very patchwork heavy, and right now I love the look of patchwork and these really cute kind of Grand Marie patterns. And I'm talking about the like really old illustrations from where the characters were depicted more as children rather than teenagers. And as much as I love the patchwork is the reason why I decided not to draw it, because I am absolutely awful at drawing patterns. And if I was doing this digitally, then it would probably be easier to work my way around it. I could just use stock images, or even creating patterns is a lot easier. Kind of funny because the art style of the 2006 art style has like very, very tiny eyes, and my art style does not. So it kind of looks funny seeing the two of them next to each other. Holly Hobbie as a franchise has a bit of a special place in my heart, and it's actually kind of funny because I never owned anything even remotely related to Holly Hobbie. I've not even seen the cartoon or the live action or whatever other media has been out there. I'm not even sure if it's ever even aired in Germany when I was a kid. But I did spend a lot of time on the internet, and that's where I found the Holly Hobbie website. And I just love the aesthetic of it so much. Even as a kid, when I didn't really pay attention to aesthetics and stuff, I just spent a lot of time just looking at everything and looking at all the pictures and clicking my way through. But mostly I was there for the games, obviously. But the aesthetic around the whole Holly Hobbie and Friends era really reminded me of what I saw on my first trip to London. So even as a kid, it ended up making me feel very nostalgic about a really great holiday that I had. Somewhere around this time, my mom also used to go on a lot of work trips to London, and she would always bring me back amazing stuff, but sometimes she would also bring me back things that I've just never seen in Germany, and it sounds so silly because I'm sure a lot of the stuff that she brought me back is also just things that you can find and buy in Germany, but they probably just weren't as popular. They probably just weren't popular enough to be like on display in stores. And I just feel like this whole kind of like patchwork, sewing, buttons, and overall kind of crafting turned into like a graphic design aesthetic just never was really a thing during my childhood in Germany. And to be fair, even now I don't think it has ever been a popular aesthetic during my lifetime so far. But when I went to my first trip to London, which was also my first time in the UK, somewhere in around 2004, 2005, 2006, somewhere around that time, I would see this kind of aesthetic like pretty much everywhere. It wasn't so many store front windows, and especially in toy stores and kids stores in general. And not just the very bright pastels from the cartoon, but also kind of this more muted aesthetic that the very old illustrations had. Also, the fashion that the girls wear in the 2006 cartoon also very much reminds me of the kids' fashion that I would see there. And it really just stuck in my mind so strongly even after all these years, because even as a kid I was so impressed and I loved it so much because it was just so different to what I was used to. And now whenever I look at any iteration of Holly Hobbie, I just immediately get filled with joy because of memories of that really amazing holiday I had. And I think kind of the funniest part of all this is I don't even this one holiday trip is so important to me in my memory, but I don't even remember doing anything special. I don't even remember doing anything other than going to Hamley's and just looking at store windows. Alright, let's see if I can find any matching colors in my sets of alcohol markers. Now that I'm done talking about all this sentimental goop, I also just, even now as an adult, even if you ignore all my sentimental attachment, I really love the designs. I absolutely adore the colors, possibly because it uses a lot more blue than most girly franchises do. I also quite love how outdated the fashion feels. Everything is so, even if it's not blue, everything is so nicely cool toned, and I really love that. I also love Holly's hair, but I feel like you don't really see curly blonde hair all that often on characters. Again, especially on main characters, and it just feels so real. I love over-the-top costumes and hair and makeup and just over-the-top everything. But I can really appreciate how everything about all of the character designs in the Holly Hobbie cartoon, in the Holly Hobbie and Friends era, just looks so realistic, but in a very fun way. A lot of German cartoons, for example, are funded by the government, which means they have to be educational, and for some reason a lot of adults just kind of equate sad and bland colors and designs with realism and think that realism is necessary to be educational. And I just really love how this cartoon managed to capture a very fun version of the real world. I've also just realized Holly Hobbie is an American franchise, so it's really funny that in my mind it's so strongly connected to England. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about the Holly Hobbie and Friends from 2006 era. I just want to mention again just how much I love those illustrations which the characters are depicted as little children in like often quilted dresses and like massive hats. It's just so cute, and that's like a modern thing for me, I guess, or like a newer taste, because as a kid I didn't know I had no idea that Holly Hobbie was such an old franchise. And right now I'm actually a really big fan of like mix and match fabrics and making it look kind of messy, but like in a cute way, which I have never been before, so I'm probably just really influenced by trends. But it doesn't matter, because right now some of these illustrations really speak to me, and I just love this oversized bonnet thing. However, from this era, when they do show the faces of the characters, I think it's kind of creepy. I love historic dolls, I love rag dolls and everything, but I don't know, something about these really tiny little beady eyes just kind of creeps me out. This can also be applied to some of the illustrations from her kind of more teenage time, because everything seems so kind of realistic, and then you have this really weird, like even the nose and lips all look fine, but then you just have these dot eyes. I think the oversized hats and bonnets is the way to go. Just hide everyone's faces. And here's my finished drawing. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, just let me know what you think about this picture, and let me know what you think about the whole Holly Hobbie franchise. And with that, I hope to see you again next week for another video. Goodbye!